Hey everybody, and welcome to my first Lootbox Lyfe devlog. I'm just going to be talking about what the game's kind of about for the first one, and then I might touch upon progress in the following ones. So for example, if I add anything, or I make an area look better, or do some kind of trick to make performance go better on lower hardware, I might do that in a devlog or something else completely. And if there's anything you want me to cover, then let me know. So I'd like to start with, as of today, which is the 11th of August, it's been exactly 1 year since the Kickstarter was successful, and that's kind of cool. So the game has progressed a lot since then. If you look at the screenshots and the gameplay from back in August of last year, it was really a completely different game. And when I say completely different, I really mean it. No levels that you currently see in the current build were ever present there in the original build. The gameplay was completely linear, with some branching paths here and there for some extra collectibles. Whereas now it's really a proper Metroidvania where the world is really properly interconnected and all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty cool. Also, thank you to the Kickstarter, obviously. The whole reason for why I did the Kickstarter was to fund the art. And because that was successful, I was able to make the game look much, much better. So that's also really cool. Thank you to Duncan, who is the artist of the game, for doing that. I've also got a super good soundtrack thanks to Aria Disconnect on Twitter. So thank you to him for that. I actually really like the soundtrack, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to put some of it playing right now throughout the devlog, so let me know what you think about it. And obviously when the game comes out, you'll be able to listen to it while you play. So yeah, I'll put the Twitter for both of these guys in the description, so if you want to follow them, do that there. And yeah, so I'm going to give a brief overview of what the game kind of is about if you haven't really seen a lot of it, or if this is your first time finding it. So Lootbox Lyfe is a Metroidvania. So it's kind of like a Metroidvania with Super Meat Boy kind of gameplay, so it's like difficult platforming, but then you don't have any levels, so everything's interconnected in one world, and you have different power-ups to allow you to explore different areas that you weren't able to find before. So when you start, you literally start off with no abilities at all. You can't even move at all. So you fall from the sky, you fall on the loot box, and you get the ability to move, not even jumping, just moving left and right. And so then once you've got that, you find the next loot box, which is being able to jump. And those are your basic abilities for the rest of the game, just like any platforming game really. And then afterwards, I have this first area called the Core Cave. Kind of called it that because it's like where you get your core power-ups, you know? So it's a bit like, it's inspired by Breath of the Wild, Zelda Breath of the Wild, in the way that the Great Plateau in that game is a bit of a microcosm for the whole game. So it's a bit like the whole essence of this game is contained in this one little area. So for Breath of the Wild, that means you got the 4 shrines, and you can complete them in any order and just explore and do whatever. And for Lootbox Lyfe, what that means is that you got branching paths and different collectibles here and there that you're able to get. But in which order you obtain the power-ups is completely up to you. So in the first area, you got a wall jump and a really cool slam, which I'll talk about later. And you can get either of those in whichever order you want. And then once you've got both of them, you can go to the next area, and then starting the area following that one, the real game really starts, where you can kind of explore the world basically how you want to. So in terms of story, I'm sure you're wondering, why is it called Lootbox Lyfe? This game doesn't look like it has a lot of loot boxes. So I guess I'll talk about the story. So Lootbox Lyfe is about this race of, I guess, bald people. I don't really know what they're called, but they're these people that are balls. And if you're wondering why they're balls, is because in the original build, I guess you could say, those are much easier to animate than actual people. So yeah, that's why they're balls. But yeah, these bald people lived in a world, and they had this ruler kind of person. And then this ruler kind of person is the only one who can basically control everything. It's like an all-powerful being in a way. And then this being had an offspring which had similar powers, but not really. You'll understand more when you play the game. But basically, the son of this other offspring, I know it's really confusing, but the son of the offspring of the original ruler got really angry at the original ruler, so he wanted to kill all of the species through starvation. And he thought that the best way to do that was basically through making everybody addicted to loot boxes, and because of that, not being able to buy food, hence dying of starvation. It makes a lot of sense, but that's kind of what the game's about. So I hope you're excited to hear more about Lootbox Lyfe in terms of story. But I think the main reason you would want to play this game is for the gameplay, not really the story. I mean, the story's there and it's kind of funny, but the real main reason you would want to play this is for the gameplay. And as any Metroidvania, it's got a lot of power-ups. So you get these power-ups in these places called Dark Worlds. I mean, I'm still open to changing the name. The name isn't something I'm really attached to, but that's what they're called for now. And similarly to Breath of the Wild, as you can see, I really like that game, but it locks away all of your other powers. So when you get a power in one of these Dark Worlds, all of your other ones are locked away. and you're obliged to complete whatever challenge with your new power-up. So for example, if you get the wall jump, you have to beat the whole challenge with the wall jump, and if you had a double jump before that, you can't use it. So I'll probably be showing off some gameplay of that here. There's this little meh kind of noise that you get when you use a power-up you can't use, just to show you that you can't use it, you know. But yeah, so the reason for why I did that was I just thought it's easier to teach a player how to use a mechanic if all they have to focus on is that. For example, if you have a wall jump but you also have a super jump and there's this really big wall that you have to pass, how do you know you have to use your wall jump instead of your super jump, you know? So I just thought from a design perspective, that's better for the player because they'll understand, okay, now I only have to focus on learning how to use this one power. So talking about powers, earlier I said that I really like the slam in this game, and that's probably one of the most original power-ups that I came up with. So basically what you do is while you're in midair, you press a button and you fall to the ground really fast. It's kind of like a fast fall. But then when you land, you jump back up even higher than if you were to jump normally. So it's like a super jump, but you have to be in midair to activate it. And then you can use this to jump up higher if you don't have a wall jump, for example, or if there's spikes on the wall and you want to jump higher without using your wall jump because you don't want to get hurt, you can use that as well. You can also use that to really carry your momentum because there's less friction in the air than on the ground, so you go faster if you keep on slamming. So it's really cool for speedrunners in that way. And as well, later in the game, there's this rock that you can break with your slam, so you can access new areas. And then there's also platforming challenges in which you use the slam to break those rocks. So there's kind of like a limited platform there, you know? So that's kind of what it's about. I'm really happy with how it turned out. It feels really good with the screen shake and all that. So yeah. It's also one of the first ones you get. It's either the first or the second power-up you get if you discount the moving and jumping. So you get to play with it quite early on, and the whole game is designed mostly around it. So in a way, moving and jumping are the main mechanics of the game, but slamming is really the main original and like the coolest one, at least to me. And another cool one I'm going to touch upon is turning into a small loot box. So going back to the story of the game, yeah, loot boxes basically consumed everybody because they can't eat anymore because they spent all their money on loot boxes. But there's this one power-up that makes you turn into one, and you're smaller than you normally are, so you can go in through little holes and stuff like that. So that's a bit like Samus's morph ball in the Metroid games. But something I do that those games don't do is there are these special turrets and spike traps that only activate if you're not small, and being small also limits your platforming ability. So there are these areas that you can't really use your normal moveset and you have to be small, but being small limits your platforming ability. So it's a bit also like Mario Sunshine and those levels where you don't have FLUDD. So a lot of different games from different genres coming together in terms of design to kind of make Lootbox Lyfe happen. So I think that's really cool. But yeah, I hope you're excited for playing around with those two really cool power-ups. I have different ones like a dash, kind of like Celeste, and super speed like Metroid Fusion. I don't know. No, I think Super Metroid also has that, but like a super speed like Metroid, and also different kind of stuff. So hope you enjoy those power-ups. But apart from power-ups, I mean, you don't really have a Metroidvania without collectibles either. So the main collectible of Lootbox Lyfe are these coins that are kind of like DLC coins, just going back to the Lootbox theme. So you collect these coins, and then every X amount of coins. So for example, if you get 1 coin, then there's a dark world that is unlocked, and then 5, and then 7. So for every milestone of coins that you get, there's a different dark world that is unlocked. And once you get that, there's a special challenge level for a specific area in which when you beat it, you get the teleport rune or map or whatever I end up calling it. Basically, you can teleport to that area, so you have a fast travel point, because Lootbox Lyfe is really about exploring the map, and I don't really want to really give the fast travel points right away. I want the player to really experience the map before they travel back and forth automatically between levels or areas. So yeah, that's why I have the coins and the dark worlds and the teleportation runes set up how I do. And I think this way you just have also more levels, so it's a bit more fun, you know? So yeah, that's all I'm going to talk about for this first devlog, and if there's anything you want me to talk about Lootbox Lyfe that you would like to hear, then let me know, and I'll do it for the second one. And yeah, if you want to wishlist it, I have the link in the description, so you can go do that. It would really helps for visibility on Steam, so I'd really appreciate it. But apart from that, thank you for watching.